the atmosphere, their working atmosphere is bad. But if you look at Amazon, there is a book called Amazon Way. He has put 14 leadership principles. The first one is customer obsession. I think I could see that, and when Jyoti mentioned the wow factor in customer experience is something which need to be looked at. I mean, in terms of how a customer is treated. I will give you my own personal example. I didn't know Deepak and Jyoti at that time. I walked into the Raymond shop right here because this tie had a global retreat, and I didn't know what this tuxedo is. It was a black tie, dress code. I walked in and I knew tuxedo, but I went in there and I got the tuxedo jacket, but I didn't have the tuxedo. They didn't have my size tuxedo shirt. And Jyoti was there. I don't know whether you remember that. We didn't know we were not active those days in tie and all. And then she ensured that the salesman takes my request and gets it delivered before I leave for Athens for the Thai Global Retreat.
For that matter, I got everything except the bow.
The bow.
They've stitched it. Yeah, they stitched and gave me the next.
Correct. My biggest problem was the kamarband. Because my tummy is so big, they could not get a kamarband of the right size. Is it called kamarband? We got it stitched. So the customer obsessiveness or customer obsession is something which is very, very important. The fifth one is, I think one of you mentioned about bouncing back. I would not say bouncing back. Now, management experts are not using the word bouncing back. It is called bouncing forward. I think in your case, it has been basically bouncing forward. There's nothing like bouncing back, because that goes back, it's going forward. Great, I think you could see that in your times of adversity. It's the sixth learning what I noted is your timely, I don't know whether your father did it or you did it, investment in cigarettes distribution with such a low margins, and it becomes we call it as a bottomless pit. You compared it to a well.
Well, yes.
Which is very important, and I think somebody asked, I think you asked the question whether father or a grandfather is a role model. There's no answer. Why I say you can skip the question, because there's no answer to that. During his days, the business needed certain things. Now he as the second generation business needs something, and the third generation sitting there waiting. Though they talk quite a lot, I think they are not talked the whole thing out. They have a different kind of approach which is right according to the times. The seventh learning for me is valuing relationship not only with customers but with the principals, with the vendors, with the government officials. I think one of the government officials are sitting here, it's fantastic because many of us don't practice that. We get over-focused on one segment. This is what important for a managing director or CEO as well, like multiple stakeholders principle. Like you get over-focused on a single stakeholder and the business goes down the drain. That was a good learning for me, and I'm sure for all of you. Taking market cues, I think you talked very nicely. I want to go back and ask people like the Keralites, you don't have to be apologetic about the dressing habits. Shirt and then Jayalakshmi suddenly comes with a silk store in MG Road in 1985. It gives him a marketing cue. It gives him a cue to put up, and then you showed on the screen the Raymond shop, which you started quickly after that. These are all for youngsters to learn. Because what we're going to do, this business icons of Kerala, what we're going to do is, this will be kind of a booklet for the startups, in terms of what are the key learnings. So the marketing cues are very important in this, That training of workmen, what you talked, Jyoti, is very important, because I could see that, many companies say vision, mission, values. It's all something which carries dust. Like you say, we believe in, training our workman to meet our mission, vision, blah, blah. But it just lies there as a piece of wallpaper, But here it is really practiced. I have myself have experienced. I am sure thousands of customers like me who have been patronizing there. I could see the youngsters coming in and gelling quite well in terms of the use of technology. I'm sure Naushad has left now, but we have been discussing with VKC also in terms of how to use technology for improving the distribution effectiveness, the carry from the distribution, to ensure that people work. Those are things which are new coming. They work in terms of what the youngsters are going to do. Succession planning is well taken care. I don't want to talk about that because this is one area where family businesses get into quite a lot of trouble, which which I have come across recently after I started my advisory role to some of the business groups here, but that's well done. I think one of your sons told that succession planning, I think it was you, Prakash, which you mentioned that, or he. Okay, Sushil, right?
Yeah, Sushil.
So that's good. I mean, that's excellent. One of the things I learned from Sushil's talk is, that is very true. I worked as a managing director for 2 AVT group companies for 20 years. The self-excitement part, I mean, that's very true for businessmen because there's nothing is going to excite you now, not an increment. Because when I used to work, okay, I get a 10% jump or I get a 9 months bonus as a managing director, but now I'm of my own. Nothing like that to excite, and nothing like in terms of promotion to excite. I like that comment. It should be self-motivated. Excellent piece of learning. I'm sure for youngsters who do the startup, I'm going to put that down in terms of there should be self-inflicted excitement, not depending on external factors. That's what we talk about happiness as well. Neha, I also put this down as a quote from you. This fast-track learning, absolutely true. Today, businessmen like us, everybody included here, we are in a very competitive situation. We don't want an youngster to come, management trainee, working for 12 months in different departments, then in the 13th month he started producing results. Those days are gone, those luxuries are gone. So I like your principle of delivering from day one, fast track learning, fast is the mantra here. Finally, I think 2 more points which I learned is give back to society is one thing which came up very, very strongly. Last but not least, I think this is very key to youngsters. This is very key to startups, networking. I would say after a certain stage, who knows you is more important than what you know. Who knows you is more important than what you know. So this is a key learning again in terms of they are active in many forums like TAI, CII, KMA, he was a Kerala Chamber President, and the youngsters are taking him to Rotary. As Shivadas Menon suggested, please come to TAI also. We would like to have you because we are now giving a lot of focus for entrepreneurship.
We are also
the youngsters.
giving back.
Yeah, we also want to do that because you look at Shivadas, look at his head, can look at your dad also. We don't want experience to be a comb to be used when you get bound. You give that experience to the youngsters. That is a simple principle of this TAI, Coffee Per Charcha. Don't give that comb. For example, Shivadas Menon has no use of a comb. Right? Still carry on. So it's like the experience has to be shared with the youngsters at the right time, for the startup. So this networking is definitely fantastic. I noted one slide which Deepak presented. He used the word path breaking. Today we are looking at whether there are entrepreneurs who are path breaking or path finding. I think there are many people who are now looking at path breaking in the sense. I mean, this is, okay, I'm not talking about Narendra Modi saying startup and stand up India. I'm not talking about that. But basically there is a startup ecosystem which is building up.
Yes.
And definitely that will be helped by this Coffee Per Charcha like what you have. Finally, I will conclude by saying once again, thanks to the Aswani family and the team. You are not a family business, you are a business family, and a fantastic combination of Sindhis and Malayalis settled down in Cochin with a Marwadi daughter-in-law. So thank you very much, and this has been a brilliant session, and I would again thanks and all the very best.
Kumar, excellent.
This I have to put in a book form. I committed to TAI that look, this will come in a book form, and Sri Kumar, I'm sure he will assist you in putting us into 10-minute capsules. But first 2 we missed, but I think Nawaz Miran and this one we had, and I'm sure we'll have more business icons coming into this Coffee Per Charcha and making it a successful
Kumar,
forum to
this
share.
family has influenced.
Involvement into the business, I will start with like this. Okay, somebody has rightly said that life can be better understood looking backwards only and must be lived forward. Well, I have to talk a little bit from where I am coming from and my background, and so that it is easy for us to take it forward as to what is happening today in the group as my role. It was in, I was born 1959 in Agra, in a middle class family which was dealing with the hardware business. And as Deepak already told, my family also was having, they were the victims of partition, like one of those people, and same, almost similar story, sob story, lot of issues, problems, not much of money. We used to get to eat only chapati with you can say pickle or sugar. Even affordable, in curry affordability was a very rare thing, once in a week or something. That was the scene. Then my father took the effort of going to Indonesia, and then he worked for 5-6 years, earned some money, came back to Kanpur, and then the whole family shifted to Kanpur. And slowly he had 16, there were 16 siblings. So managing 16 people and their friends, and each one making them study, and opening a shop separately for them, getting them married, and house for them. Till that level my father did everything. So as Deepak said, for me also, my role model was my father, who managed to handle so many people with lot of effort, and really hard working, and somebody to look up to. So in those days, when we can talk about the situation, the 1959, when India just got independence, and that's the time life was going at a very slow pace. It was nothing like something what we today talk about rat race, not known in those days. People were just living comfortably, it's okay, whatever is happening, very fine. And in that kind of atmosphere, I never thought that one day I will be talking to a audience like you people, and it will be really, I couldn't imagine. But I thought I was like very much like a girl next door. I did my schooling, did my household course, learned my household course, and thought one day I will get married and to somebody, and this is how life was supposed to go on. One thing I would like to say very proudly, that our parents, our teachers, our elders who imbibed in us not so very hyped and very big values people talk about, the qualities people talk about, but of course the values which were taught by them are very much in today also the group follows, and we are really very proud that we learnt all those values from them. Now after my marriage, when I came to Cochin, it was a total alien place for me. Marriage, okay. that is totally God's wish, I must say. There was somebody who said, there was one lady who was staying close to our neighborhood. She used to say, I will send you to Cochin. What this old lady keeps talking all the time. I never took her seriously. But she always, whenever she used to, I will send you to Cochin. I don't know what she had in her mind, but she knew their family.
So she knew Deepak already.
Yeah, she knew him. But like this is how it started, and I'll share one more interesting story. In 1979 we got married. 1977, when I was in 12th standard, that is when Deepak's sister had come to see me. I was she was newly married at that time. She came and saw me, and then somehow they didn't like or something. The matter never went forward. It was kept closed. After 2 years, when his sister delivered a girl, that time she was in Ambala. So my father-in-law was passing by Kanpur. He said, we will again see this girl and go. And then he came and saw me, and then he liked, and then he said, you people come to Cochin and see my boy and our businesses and all that, and then you take a call. That is how it happened. So it's all 100% God's will. Sorry. Never ever. Never. So coming to Cochin, as I said, we were coming by train. In those days there were no flights, And the people selling coffee at the railway station used to wondering what this guy is saying. Copy, copy, copy. I thought probably a notebook is what he's trying to sell. But look at this steaming cup of coffee coming in front of you. And another thing I found was most of the places while entering south of India, we find only idlis. In those days, we never developed taste for idli and we didn't like it at all. And one person comes with something looking very interesting, nice smell coming, and felt that it was probably the bhaji. When took a bite, it turned out to be parampuri on the sweeter side, which was again a disappointment. Those jokes apart, coming to Cochin, life was totally different because here also very conventional kind of family. My father-in-law did not like women going out. He was very sweet and nice, but at the same time, he was of the opinion, you people want anything, tell me, I will get it for you, but you be here. Don't need to go out. I will do everything for you people. So my sister was there, Deepak's brother's wife, and myself. We two ladies were there at home, and then of course, due course, we had children. And it so happened that as he was growing old, he had a fall one day in the marketplace, and then that is when people came and complained to him, ki, what are you people doing? Why this old man is going to market, and why don't you people do the work? Then probably he took it little seriously. I said, it doesn't matter, I will go and do it. These are things we are being in North, we do it. There's nothing great about it. So like that, started doing other things. Apart from that, going to the shop, he will just not agree. Coming to home for food also, he will say, no, nobody is in the shop. I will not come, I will not come. Then we have to virtually push him, okay, I am sitting here for two hours. You go home, eat food, take rest and come back. And after that, I'll go back. So, no, children are alone. How can you go? I said, okay, only for 2 hours, please. Like that, somehow cajoling him and requesting him. He did allow me to come for 2.5 hours, and that is how the life in business started. Some of you will think probably if that was not the situation, I would have become a housewife, but no, I don't think so, because that time itself, after college itself, I had that whatever happens, something extra I have to do. Though I knew my father will never allow me to go out to work, I knew that, but then somehow I will do something even it's sitting at home if people don't allow me to go out. That was the idea. Now coming to the shop for some time, started looking into the stock books and then general discipline in the store and VMs and talking to the customer. One thing I felt a big gap there was customer interaction in Kerala was very poor in those days. We are talking about 1970 or 86 we started the shop around that time. Yeah. So whenever we used to go to a store, what we used to say, if you tell the salesman, you pull out that green piece, then he will pull out only that and he will look at your face. Should I cut it? Should I pack it? He will be very lazy to pull out the second one. He'll say no. Shall I write it? Write the bill. That is how the attitude. So I felt that this place does require a lot of effort in case of customer excellence, and took quite a bit of effort, tried a few things on our own. For example, taking umbrella for the customer to when it is raining, or delivering goods to his car, this kind of little additional effort. Apart from that, from the company itself, we got a lot of training that the complete man, when he is entering to our store, we have to take care to see that his 5 senses are pleased. As soon as he enters, he finds lights are on, AC is on, so that his skin can feel the comfort, his eyes have the pleasure of seeing the nicely kept clean merchandise. And my father-in-law was very popular for offering sweets to the customers. Even today, it's very heartening to know that after 25 years of his death, people come and ask us, we know your father-in-law, he used to sit here and he used to offer sweets. It was really touching, and that tradition still continues. So, this customer excellence, some more things we went forward and did which were not popular in those days. For example, in case of shirts, no, you go to any shop, they will give you the shirt. They will not open the shirt and give it to you to try, because this is too much of a work. But we made it a point that our people have to do it, and that was one point many people admired. And these kind of small steps in customer excellence were mentioned at the conferences whenever we went. Every once in 3 years, company has conferences, we go there and people talk about it. Cochin shop, in those days Cochin was not very popular, it was a small shop, and in Kerala ours was the first shop we started, Raymond, in Cochin for the first time, and it was became very popular that you people go to Cochin and learn from there how these people are taking care of their customers. So this kind of things is how I started. And then after some then we thought that now it is time to start something of our own, and that is when while traveling abroad once we found that there are factory outlets which are not in the main part of the city, they are outside in the outskirts where discounts are being provided. So these are all good brands and quite expensive, but everybody cannot afford it. So we found, okay, this thing can be tried here, and with that idea in 2005 we started the store called Priceless in Vaitila. Now that store now is relocated opposite to Chalikevattam Jaguar showroom. So that was again a novel idea we came out with, and 2006, immediately after 1 year. Sorry? That concept is still going on. The shop is well known for its value, because there are dime a dozen other stores come up today. You see so many seconds and factory outlets, so many places have come up. But there are some loyal customers who would like to come to us because they know they are getting the genuine product and with the genuine discount. So that way, that was the first initiative. Second initiative we started called My Kingdom at MG Road. That was again one of its kind, with 22,000 square feet area for everything under one roof. That is how it was started, and I was mainly involved in the sourcing part of it. So travel quite a lot. Like, you can travel till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever, without food, sometimes with food. And I am very popular in Bombay when people say, this madam will eat banana and coconut water. So they know I am coming, they will buy for me and keep it there. It's so nice to, see that. But this is the kind of additional efforts taken to source the goods from various places, and this was again different kind of experience, learning from fashion books and keeping track of what is happening around, and also learning new things, how to bring in new styles and things like that. We try to incorporate into this store. Now, my husband and children's contribution to this is very much, cannot be missed, because my children, by God's grace, that way I think it is God's blessing, when they were small also, they never ever troubled me for studies. I never even told them, okay, you do your homework, never. You ask them, homework done? Yes, done. Exam, everything on their own, the bag is ready next day to go to school. Probably that is how I could spare more time, and I could be thankful to them for being such model children. And every time I used to go to school, the teacher used to say, you don't have to come here, your children are all fine, you are lucky, that's all, you go back. That's how teachers used to talk to me, but that is one God's blessing I will consider. Well, after creating wow effect in customer experience and also sourcing area, learning new tricks, we started another brand in ladies area called Park Avenue Woman, PAW. That brand was started, it was a very new category in those days, but today it is growing and it's doing well. Today we have all the office wear for not only office wear, the different occasion wear for the woman, western wear I mean, not Indian wear, all western wear, where for whether it's a party, whether it's a casual or a formal wear, it is available. Then, well, the story so far has been a sort of roller coaster ride. In business, things are not as Deepak said, one day be very good crowd in the shop and you feel good, wow, good sale, and next day, oh, suddenly there is nobody. So this kind of situations keep coming in an entrepreneur's life, and one day you find that customer's Mercedes has been hit by somebody, and then the customer comes and claims for it. Wow, it happened in front of your shop, you have to pay for it. Again down. Then next day there is somebody who is praising you, come on, you are doing a job of 20 purchase manager single-handedly, how are you doing, lady? Then you feel so great. So I mean, I just say that business is like that. One day you feel very good, one day you feel little low, but then again you spring back, as he spoke already. So this is how one has to be ready to to start any business. This kind of situations are very, very common. Then being in retail industry, attrition rate was very high, which we all know, especially in Kerala. But that is happening, I think, now across, with more and more people getting educated. They don't want to stick to one job and then they keep changing. But if it happens suddenly, after giving salary on 31st, on the 1st you find 5 people, 6 people missing, it can be really demotivating. But that is how it is. And apart from that, been quite socially active also, as already told in my profile, associated with quite a few organizations and try to give back to society, as Deepak said, not only in monetary benefits but in other ways, whichever way we can, little bit try to do that. And learnings, as usual, it's same as no substitute to hard work, never give up attitude, and relationship with family, staff, customers, our suppliers. So very, very important. That is how we are here today. And integrity, you already spoke about it. These are a few things, and believe in God and in yourself. These are the things I feel are very, very important for any business. Now, what would like to share something with you people. Jyoti Aswani, no succeeding alphabets behind my name. I had done only BA. I could not even complete actually. August month 24th we got married. That is the time, that 1 week I had my exams going on. But
please remember the date.
So, but my father-in-law, for some religious reasons, wanted marriage to take place on that time, because after that the star was sinking, something was happening. So just couldn't complete because of those reasons. But I don't have achievements and credentials like you, most of you people. But one thing is there, that these kind of challenges have ignited me to be a workaholic, and these things keep me young in spirits. Thank you so much. Any questions we'll take up later.
Jyoti missed out saying that she is supposed to be one of the best books that we have in this part of the country. She features in a number of cookery shows, and one of the reasons why we are healthy, wealthy and wise is also because of her. Thank you, Jyoti. Yeah.
So this is metro in states are affected because of metro?
Yes, definitely. Actually, I think we've talked a lot about the metro. Can we come back to this question after they finish their presentation?
Yes.
So as I mentioned earlier, I'm an engineer and I did my MBA from IIT Kanpur, specialized in marketing and operations. And I've historically, I think I've had an orientation towards technology, operations, marketing. Those have been my. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
That's fine. Oh, that's for the video.
Yeah. Those have been my areas of interest, and during my industrial trainings and stints, I've been quite involved in various types of supply chain and marketing operations related roles. So all this helped me kind of bag a job with the ITC itself. We said that it'd be good if I understood the companies being, since our group has been associated with the company for so many decades, it'd be good if we understand things from the company's perspective as well, and thereby create better strategic fits. So it was a golden opportunity. So immediately after my MBA in the year 2005, I decided to join ITC, and it was an excellent learning experience because as a management trainee, we were taken through all the rigors of day-to-day market work, and I started off with a stint in Hyderabad. And one interesting thing was ITC was very supportive in terms of giving me markets which were extremely competitive from the point of view of our market share not being so high. So it was an excellent learning experience in terms of how to attack competition, how to aggressively capture market share. So Hyderabad, as you know, is known to be the manufacturing location for VST, which is a major competitor to ITC. And they had significant shares there. And of course, while ITC was still the dominant player, there was a lot of learning there from that perspective. And I got an opportunity to kind of learn across departments, across categories in my 2 years stint there. I had an experience working at their regional office in Calcutta, which is right next to their head office. So we had a lot of interaction with the head office teams as well, with various category development managers. While we were in that stint, I happened to handle the whole of the eastern region for key accounts in those initial stages when the company was entering foods categories and making major inroads into major key account outlets, big chains, etc. And after that, again, I got an opportunity to work with in Rajasthan and Haryana, where I handled these two states, the convenience channel for these two states, all the products in the convenience channel. And also got to be part of a very interesting initiative that a lot of you might have heard of called the eChopal, which ITC pioneered at that particular point in time is when it was really gathering steam. And we had some excellent opportunities to actually interact with the sarpanches of various chopals and have the whole thing set up from scratch. So those were really amazing years. Even Rajasthan and Haryana happened to be ITC's lowest market share markets all over India, and we managed to almost double our sales. We had in that 1 year that we worked with them, we had the highest growth in the whole of the country from those two states. That was really well acknowledged, and it was a great time because we were working with a team which was extremely motivated and which had a clear target in mind in terms of what they had to do in the markets. And it provided a great platform to come back into business and then put these learnings into practice into the business, which was eventually the aim. Because when I had joined ITC itself, I was very clear with them that I would be working with them only for a short period of time, and eventually they knew that I would be going back into business. So to that extent, they were very supportive of the entire experience. And once I was back in Cochin, this was also the stage when ITC was diversifying increasingly into multiple product categories. They had just begun to go beyond cigarettes into food categories, whether it be confectionery with Minto, or they just started biscuits. So one of the best learnings was systems and processes orientation, which I got from ITC. In terms of the way sales and distribution processes are planned and executed in the market. And we use this learning back in our own distribution points, because in order to be able to handle so many new categories, whether it is atta, biscuits, bingo, personal care products, we had to scale up our infrastructure, our resources, our distribution setups at a very drastic level. So it involved us configuring multiple distribution points. From a single point, suddenly we had about 8 points, and these had to be set up in different parts of the geography so that we could reach out to these so-called 25,000 outlets that we are almost touching right now in Ernakulam district. And eventually, all of the learnings in terms of technology, in terms of that systems and processes orientation, whether it came to computerization of all the branches, synchronization of data, a lot of these initiatives, luckily because of my association with ITC, we happen to be the pilot branch and the pilot distribution point in the whole of the country for several of these initiatives. So it was an exciting time, and I continued to maintain very good rapport and relationship with several of my batchmates who are now in very, very senior positions. It gives you a great perspective from both the company side and the distributor side. So what happens is you don't think only from your angle. Usually when it's a principal to principal relationship, you tend to look at things only from your angle. But if you've worked on the other side, you no longer think that the grass on the other side is greener, because you're able to adjust and adapt to the situation and are able to come to terms with the thing in a better way, with a more balanced point of view. So I think that has been probably the best takeaway from this whole procedure. And besides this, I'll just take you through a few of the initiatives that we've done, like a few small things, because I know we're running short of time. Yeah. So things like handhelds we introduced for the first time. And these handhelds are typically used to help salesmen in terms of capturing orders in the market. They get the accurate stock position. They're able to capture orders efficiently, prevent out of stock situations. They can show promotions, schemes, videos, various things to retailers to help them to take decisions more effectively. And besides this, we also now have the capability to track how much time each salesman is spending in each outlet. We know where they are at a particular point in time, so there can be no misuse happening of the time spent. So it creates greater level of accountability overall. And overall, this was one of the tools that has really helped us achieve several of our goals in the growth that we are looking at. With the ITC looking to grow to about 1 lakh crore by 2030, systems and processes like these will only help in that regard. Then, just to give you a quick idea, we cater to multiple channels. We cater to multiple categories within these channels. So this is the convenience channel typically, and even the traditional pawn shop or the convenience shop, the pettikada, has been kind of modernized with a lot of visibility inputs and retail architecture. So high quality retail architecture has been deployed with ACP panels and lit up boards. You even have LED screens in some of these outlets. And the whole idea was that besides just cigarettes, we also, as you can see, some of these confectionery jars in the front, a whole host of these other non-tobacco products, the food and personal care products were also pushed into such outlets. Then key accounts is another area where Kerala has historically been a fairly key account dominated market. Like modern trade contributes to almost about 45 to 50% of the total turnover. This is very unlike some of the other markets in the country where general trade contributes the majority share. Modern trade is still penetrating at 5 to 6%. But here, thanks to the margin freeze and supply cos of the world, and now of course the bigger malls, modern trade has become a very important touch point to interface with the consumer, engage with them, give them access to your latest products and experiences. So a lot of visibility inputs have been executed in modern trade, and initiatives such as this have helped increase market share. I will just quickly touch upon some of the things that we have done on the delivery point of view as well. Because distribution at the end of the day is a cost optimization game, because your margins are fixed by your principal company, in which in our case it's ITC. So you could be doing big turnovers, but if you mess up on your costing, you are in deep trouble. So we've put in a lot of effort to kind of optimize our costs. It could be little things. At the end of the day, distribution is actually about doing the basics right. It's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of monitoring, it's a lot of following up, but eventually once the systems come into play, they stay that way. Once you rigorously monitor them and follow up on them, they will not get violated, especially when you have technology supporting it. So in our case, we've done various little initiatives. You can see these pre-packing stations, which is the second picture. We've created pre-packing areas where, as the number of products increase, it's almost impossible to carry all the products in a vehicle, and give the amount of time spent in taking the products and giving them to each and every outlet product by product is extremely difficult. So we've actually been pre-packing our orders in a very systematic manner. We've used trolleys, we've been using trays to save space within the outlet. These may all sound like very small things, but at the end of the day, distribution is about doing these basics right. And we've been tracking our vehicles increasingly. We've had GPS sensors installed in them so that people don't take us for a ride. At the end of the day, there had been cases where people, on the pretext of a lunch break.
So he looks at the hand and looks at the person. It's the world's most beautiful pickpocket, a lady. It was love at first sight. And then obviously the dreams start, our child is going to be even better than what we are. So the dreams go, the child is born. And when the child is born, there's only one problem, there's a slight defect. The the palm is closed. Normally for a small child it happens that way.